Hello students, this is part 2 of video lecture on the topic moving coil galvanometer, and in part 1 of this lecture we have studied about what is moving coil galvanometer, what is its principle, its construction and theory and working. So if you have not watched that video, so please go through that first and then come to this one. Okay, so previously we have studied that there galvanometer is a instrument that is used to detect electric current in a circuit with the help of a moving coil present in it, as it works on the principle that whenever we have a coil, current carrying coil in a magnetic field, it experiences a torque and due to which it rotates, and by that deflection we observe that there is some current present in the coil or circuit. Okay, so on this principle moving coil galvanometer works. While studying its theory and working, we found that the torque acting on the coil tau is equal to NIAB, and we also find that there is a restoring torque act on that coil which can be given as tau restoring and is equal to K alpha, where K is the torsion constant, and in equilibrium these two torques are equal. In the condition of equilibrium, these two torques have same value, and while doing so we get that K alpha is equal to NIAB, or alpha is equal to NBA upon K into I. These all are constants for that particular galvanometer, and this shows that the factor alpha, that is the deflecting angle, is directly proportional to the current. That means this alpha actually shows the twist of the coil, and that is directly proportional to the current. This we have done previously, and we also find that if we rearrange this relation as I is equal to K upon NBA into alpha and put this as a constant G, that is I is equal to G alpha. So here G is called galvanometer constant, or current reduction factor. Right, so this all we have studied in the previous video. Now the new term here is figure of merit. The new term that we are going to study is figure of merit of a galvanometer. So figure of merit of a galvanometer is nothing but the value G only, and is defined as the current which produces a deflection of one scale division in the galvanometer. Means that much amount of current which shows a deflection of one unit is unit on scale. Okay, जो अभी आपका scale है, suppose you have a scale like this and there is a pointer, so that much amount of current which makes this pointer move through one deflection, that is called figure of merit of that galvanometer. So basically it is current per unit deflection, that is I upon alpha, and from this value I is equal to G upon alpha, we get that I upon alpha is G only. That means figure of merit is not a new thing, it is the value G only, and is defined as the current which produces a deflection of one scale division in the galvanometer. So we can write figure of merit as it is defined as the current which produces a deflection of one scale division in the galvanometer, right? Then it is called figure of merit of that galvanometer. That means G is equal to I upon alpha. If I substitute alpha is equal to 1, alpha is equal to 1 means that there is a deflection of one scale division. Okay, unit deflection. Alpha is equal to 1 represent there is a deflection of one scale division. Then if I put alpha is equal to 1, G is equal to I. So figure of merit is the value of that current which produces a deflection of one scale division in the galvanometer and is given as G is equal to I upon alpha, or I upon alpha from this relation can be written as K upon NBA. So this is the value of figure of merit of a galvanometer. The deflection, if a current is showing that one scale division of deflection for smaller value of current, then it has low figure of merit. Means the current is less. If this current is less for alpha is equal to 1, the value of G will be less. So G is equal to I upon alpha and is given as K upon NBA. After figure of merit, the next thing that we have to study is the sensitivity of a galvanometer. So from sensitivity of a galvanometer, we mean that how good or how sensitive towards the current that galvanometer is. That means a galvanometer is said to be sensitive if it shows large scale deflection even when a small current is passed through it or a small voltage is applied across it. Means whenever we use that galvanometer in a circuit where there is a very small amount of current passing or the voltage applied is very small across it and it shows a large good deflection that we can observe easily, then such galvanometer is called a sensitive one. Okay, so higher is the sensitivity of a galvanometer, that means it is showing large scale deflection for smaller values of current or a small voltage when applied across it. So we can write the sensitivity of a galvanometer as that a galvanometer is said to be sensitive if it shows large scale deflection even when a small current is passed through it or a small voltage is applied across it. We can also explain it as whenever a galvanometer detect a small current or a small voltage, or it can show deflection for a very small current or a small voltage applied across it, then that galvanometer is more sensitive towards that current or the voltage, or that galvanometer is good for use comparative to the other ones. Okay, so now the sensitivity is based on the detection of current as well as voltage. So this sensitivity is of two types. First is current sensitivity and the second is voltage sensitivity. Current sensitivity and the second is voltage sensitivity. First, we will talk about current sensitivity. So current sensitivity can be defined as the deflection produced in the galvanometer when unit current flows through it. Okay, what we have said in the definition that the large scale deflection for small current and large scale deflection for small voltage. So the deflection for unit current is called current sensitivity, and the deflection for unit voltage or unit potential difference across it is called voltage sensitivity. So we are talking about current sensitivity. It means it is defined as the deflection produced in galvanometer when a unit current flows through it. Deflection produced in a galvanometer when a unit current flows through it is called current sensitivity of that galvanometer, and is given as IS. IS means current sensitivity is the deflection produced for unit current. That means alpha upon I. This is actually the reciprocal of capital G, or its value is equal to NBA upon K. So current sensitivity is the reciprocal of figure of merit or galvanometer constant, that is alpha upon I, and is equal to NBA upon K, and it is defined as the deflection produced for unit current flowing through the galvanometer. Now come to the voltage sensitivity. So voltage sensitivity is actually the deflection produced in the galvanometer when a potential difference unity, or when a unit potential difference is applied across its end. Means voltage sensitivity is deflection produced when a unit potential difference is applied across its ends. Its ends means the ends of galvanometer. The deflection produced in a galvanometer when a unit potential difference is applied across its ends is called voltage sensitivity, and is given as Vs, or Vs means voltage sensitivity is equal to deflection per unit voltage, or alpha upon V. Now we can write V as IR using Ohm's law. So it can be written as alpha upon I into 1 upon R, or we can write Vs as 1 upon R, and the value of alpha upon I is Is, or NBA upon RK. That means voltage sensitivity is actually equal to the current sensitivity per unit resistance. That implies voltage sensitivity is equal to current sensitivity upon capital R. So basically voltage sensitivity depends on the current sensitivity for a galvanometer. If its current sensitivity is high, its voltage sensitivity also high, and is equal to NBA upon RK. So whenever we have a galvanometer with high current sensitivity, it will also have high voltage sensitivity. Now we will see the factors on which this sensitivity of a moving coil galvanometer depends. Okay, let's see the factors affecting sensitivity. So while seeing the factors affecting sensitivity, if we check the formula, we have current sensitivity is NBA upon K, voltage sensitivity is NBA upon RK, where resistance of the galvanometer or the coil is constant. So ultimately the variation can happen in NBA and K. So the factors on which the sensitivity of a moving coil galvanometer depends is N, B, A and K. So these are the two factors. Let's see how it works. Capital N is the number of turns in coil. Moving coil galvanometer has capital N number of turns. Since sensitivity is directly proportional to N, so if we increase the number of turns of the coil, the sensitivity of a galvanometer will increase. That means sensitivity is directly proportional to capital N. If we have large number of turns in the coil, the sensitivity of the galvanometer is also high, or we can increase the sensitivity by increasing the number of turns in the coil. The second factor is magnetic field, that is B. Again, if we check the formula, sensitivity is directly proportional to capital B in both cases. So sensitivity is directly proportional to the magnetic field capital B. That means by increasing the magnetic field, sensitivity can also be increased. So we can increase the sensitivity of a moving coil galvanometer by increasing the value of magnetic field. The next thing that affects the sensitivity of a moving coil galvanometer is area of the coil. Capital A is the area of coil. Again, sensitivity is directly proportional to capital A, which shows that by increasing the area of the coil, capital A, the sensitivity of a moving coil galvanometer can also be increased. And the last factor on which this sensitivity of moving coil galvanometer depends is the torsion constant. Torsion constant, which is inversely proportional to the sensitivity. If we see the formula in both cases of current sensitivity and voltage sensitivity, it is inversely proportional to the torsion constant K. That means by decreasing the value of torsion constant K, we can increase the sensitivity of a moving coil galvanometer. So moving coil galvanometer has sensitivity that depends on N, B, A and K. This sensitivity can be increased by increasing N, by increasing B, by increasing capital A, and by decreasing torsion constant K. So these are the factors on which the sensitivity of a moving coil galvanometer depends. Now come to the advantages of a moving coil galvanometer. If we talk about its advantages, in moving coil galvanometer, we know that alpha is directly proportional to capital I. That means the deflection of coil is proportional to the current passing through it. So we can conveniently use a linear scale to measure the deflection. So the very first advantage is linear scale can be used to measure deflection conveniently. Since that deflection is directly proportional to the current, alpha is directly proportional to I, that's why we can use linear scale conveniently to measure the deflection. The second point is the sensitivity of the moving coil galvanometer can be increased by increasing N, B, A and decreasing K. That means we can set up the sensitivity of a galvanometer as per our choice. We can increase it by increasing N, B and A, and decrease it by, and also increase it by decreasing K. So we can increase the sensitivity of a galvanometer, or we can adjust it by our choice by choosing convenient values of N, B and A and K. So if we want to have a moving coil galvanometer with high value of sensitivity, we must increase the value of N, B, A and decrease the value of K. Then we can achieve a moving coil galvanometer with high sensitivity. The next thing is the coil is placed in a strong magnetic field of a powerful magnet. That's why its deflection is not affected by external magnetic field. That means because of the presence of magnetic field, because of a powerful magnet, the deflection is not affected by the external magnetic field. Means no external magnetic field can affect the deflection. Since we place a coil in the magnetic field of a powerful magnet, so external magnetic fields are unable to disturb the deflection or cause any deflection in that coil. And the last thing is that the coil is wound over a metallic frame, and because of that, eddy currents produced in the frame and bring that coil in rest quickly. That means that coil comes to rest suddenly whenever the current stops. So because of the metallic frame, eddy currents are produced. Eddy currents are produced and bring the coil to rest quickly. So these are the advantages of using a moving coil galvanometer. Now there are disadvantages also. The first disadvantage is that we can set the sensitivity of a galvanometer and we can set it as high as we want by increasing the value of NBA and decreasing the value of torsion constant K, but we cannot change it again and again, means whenever we need. Once we set up a particular value of sensitivity for a galvanometer, it is fixed. Means we can make a coil with certain number of turns with certain area, but we can't change that coil again and again in the same moving coil galvanometer. So we can't change the sensitivity of that particular moving coil galvanometer whenever we want. This is not possible. While constructing that moving coil galvanometer, we can set up the sensitivity as per our choice, but we can't change it as per our need again and again with same moving coil galvanometer. So this is the first disadvantage. And the second disadvantage is that the moving coil galvanometers are easily damaged by overloading. Means the maximum value of current that instrument can bear, whenever this value of current increases from that maximum value that instrument can bear, it burn out its spring. Actually the hair springs that we are using or the suspensions that we are using, that will burn out. So because of that, because of the overloading, we can say that the overloading of current, the moving coil galvanometers are easily damaged. So there are two main disadvantages. First disadvantage is about sensitivity, that we can't change it. We can't change it as per our choice again and again in the same moving coil galvanometer. This is the first disadvantage, कि हम sensitivity को बार बार change नहीं कर सकते हैं as per our choice in a single moving coil galvanometer. And the second thing is the overloading, that whenever the instrument go through a current that is more than the maximum value that it can bear, its hair springs or the suspensions that we are using will burn out and the moving coil galvanometer will easily damaged because of that overloading. So these two are the disadvantages of using a moving coil galvanometer. This is all about the moving coil galvanometer. In next video lecture, we are going to study how we can convert a galvanometer into ammeter or voltmeter, whatever we need. So for that, stay tuned, stay safe and keep studying. Thank you.